Coming up on the next Rockbridge Report, police are still searching for the man who robbed Lexington's Cornerstone Bank Monday afternoon. The Rockbridge Report sits down with the bank's president, who reveals how employees are coping with the crisis.
And the race for Virginia governor travels north as Hillary Clinton holds a fundraiser for Democratic candidate Ralph Northam.
And in Washington, President Trump talks tax reform. Congress figures out how to pay for it. And the Rockbridge Report reveals how you can now use your smartphone to call a ride in Lexington.
And we'll have reporter Keenan Willard live from Lexington's newest breakfast spot. Competition is sizzling on Route 11. All that and more next on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Brennan Black.
And I'm Aspen Moraif. 3 days have passed since a man robbed a local bank, and so far police have made no arrests. The Rockbridge Report Gus Cross was on the scene Monday and has the latest on the investigation and reaction from the president of the bank.
Police are still looking for the man who robbed this Cornerstone Bank in the College Square Shopping Center on Monday.
We had a white male came into the Cornerstone Bank here at College Square, presented a firearm, and asked for the money that they had there on hand. Basically robbed the bank and then left here on foot.
Bank officials told the sheriff's office that around $10,000 was stolen from the bank. It is the first bank robbery to occur in the Lexington area since 2008, a year before Cornerstone Bank opened. Despite being relatively new to the area, Cornerstone Bank employees were prepared for the situation.
We do have a protocol for robbery. We practice it over and over regularly, and I'm very proud to say that our employees followed that protocol to the T. They did exactly what they should have done. We're very thrilled that no one got hurt.
The sheriff's office said they have been following every lead regarding the subject and are still searching the area. Grice said the bank is reviewing its policies and protocols to improve upon how they protect employees and the disclosure of information in the future. For right now, they are focusing on supporting each other.
You know, we all feel violated. We're a family here. We feel like we've been, intruded upon. Not just the College Square branch, but downtown as well. I mean, they're our fellow co-workers. So we all feel odd in a way, but we're working to support each other. We're, sending notes, texts, phone calls, just to try to support each other personally.
The suspect is described as a white male, about 5 feet and 7 inches tall. At the time of the robbery, he was wearing a blue plaid shirt, a green hat, and sunglasses. Any information on the suspect should be directed to the Rockbridge County Sheriff's Office. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Gus Cross.
Police say residents in the Lexington area should remain alert as the suspect may still be in the area.
Former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is helping raise money for the Democratic candidate in a tight race for Virginia governor. An invitation obtained by the Associated Press says Clinton will be the featured guest at an upcoming fundraiser for Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam. Northam is going up against Republican Ed Gillespie in one of only 2 governor's races this year.
It's been a rocky 48 hours for President Trump as both the Republican health care repeal effort once again failed and the Republican Senate candidate he backed in Alabama lost the runoff election. Trump hopes to turn the page as he unveiled his tax reform plan on Wednesday in Indiana, hoping his economic message resonates with the middle-class base.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and I guess it's probably something I could say that I'm very good at. I've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to cut taxes for the middle class, make the tax code simpler and more fair for everyday Americans, and we are going to bring back the jobs and wealth that have left our country, and most people thought left our country for good.
The outline of the plan includes cutting individual and corporate tax rates. However, the plan leaves many tough decisions for Congress, including how to pay for it. Roy Moore returns to politics. The former Chief Justice of Alabama wins the Senate GOP primary runoff in the state Tuesday. This win comes despite President Trump campaigning for Moore's challenger. CNN John Loring reports.
A Republican outsider comes up big in Alabama. This is a time for victory. It's a time to remember the struggles we've gone through.
Judge Roy Moore beat incumbent Senator Luther Strange in Tuesday's GOP primary runoff election.
But I've congratulated Judge Moore. I've already talked to him on the phone. Melissa and I wish him the best.
The strange thing about Strange's defeat? He had President Trump's support in a state where the president's approval rating among Republicans is sky high.
President Trump now, even if it's not a total embarrassment to him, it does show that he isn't able to hold his party together in a way that you would normally expect a president to do.
But Moore has already addressed the elephant in the room.
Don't let anybody in the press think that because he supported my opponent that I do not support him and support his agenda.
Moore also used one of Mr. Trump's go-to slogans nearly verbatim.
Together we can make America great.
The president says he is now behind Moore, tweeting him a congratulatory message. Moore faces off against Democratic challenger Doug Jones in December when they fight for the Senate seat once held by Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Alabama is a fire engine red state, right? I think that Moore is going to go on.
Moore was twice ousted as Alabama's Chief Justice, most recently making headlines for refusing to recognize the Supreme Court's ruling on gay marriage. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
On Monday, Iraqi Kurds voted overwhelmingly in favor of independence from Iraq. The referendum passed with more than 92% of voters approving the independence, but has strained relations between the Kurds and the central government in Baghdad. The United States has denounced the vote, voicing concern that it could detract from the campaign against ISIS. Catalonia, a region in northeastern Spain, is also voting on an independence referendum this weekend. The vote has been declared illegal by the government in Madrid and by the courts, but authorities in Catalonia say that they are determined to peacefully proceed with Sunday's vote. Coming up next on the Rockbridge Report, we'll tell you how the new IHOP and Waffle House are faring as neighbors.
Well, it's still bright and sunny out today, but it looks like we're going to get our first taste of fall this weekend. I'll have your weather report next.
And later, the Chessie Trail is now one step closer to connecting Lexington and Buena Vista. We'll update you on the progress.
Mom.
Dear.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The city of Lexington is currently restructuring its parade permitting process in an attempt to avoid conflict between groups next January. Both Lee Jackson Day and MLK Day both fall on the second weekend in January this year. The Virginia Flaggers, a pro-Confederate group, and the anti-racism group Care Rockbridge each have parade plans for the weekend. City officials are already planning with local police and law enforcement to balance the rights of all groups, but they still put safety first. Breakfast lovers now have two choices on Route 11, north of Lexington. IHOP is the new entry, only about a mile north of Waffle House. Reporter Keenan Willard is at IHOP now. Keenan?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing in front of the Lehigh truck stop on North Lee Highway, in front of the home of what used to be Berkey's Restaurant, a popular comfort food standby that had been operating out of the truck stop since the 1940s. The restaurant closed this summer and was replaced on August 22nd with an IHOP. Now, owner Bobby Bergstresser said that the move was a result of decreased traffic to Berkey's Restaurant. However, former Berkey's patrons have expressed their displeasure with the restaurant's closing, including one truck driver who posted on the restaurant's TripAdvisor page that he will never be returning to the truck stop. Now, for now, only time will tell whether the IHOP will be the truck stop's saving grace. Reporting from North Lee Highway for the Rockbridge Report, I'm Keenan Willard. Back to you, Aspen and Brennan.
Thanks, Keenan. About a month ago, Rockbridge County offered a no-ride hailing options, but now residents can open either Uber or Lyft on their phones for instant rides. Nuya Zhao reports.
Last month, Uber and Lyft announced that they opened up their mobile phone and location technology to Virginia statewide. So far, only a few drivers signed up to drive for these two companies in the Rockbridge area. Brian Fredrickson, a resident of Lexington, is one of them. Fredrickson retired last April from a local commercial real estate company. He saw Uber's TV advertisement and applied online. Fredrickson said he loves his new job, especially after Uber opened up its business in Lexington.
Uber offers you the ability to work when you want, the hours you want, and the cities you want.
Initially, since Lexington did not have Uber available, he had to work in Roanoke.
Working in Roanoke gave me a year's worth of experience, so now I'm ready, willing, and able to work in Lexington, which is my hometown.
Fredrickson said he chose to be an Uber driver instead of driving for the local taxi company Easy Rider because he could pick hours based on his schedule. Corey Mason, co-owner of Easy Rider, said she believes there's a market big enough for everyone. Fredrickson also sees Uber and Lyft's expansion as an opportunity for students who want a part-time job.
We need more drivers in Lexington, and it's a perfect part-time job.
People sometimes can't find any drivers available on the apps because most of them here are part-time drivers. A spokesperson for Uber, Nicholas Debreski, said in an email that the wait time might be longer than usual in towns as small as Lexington, but Uber is committed to making sure everyone who needs a ride can get one. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Nuya Zhao.
The weather has been just beautiful this week, and I hope it will continue to stay. What do you say, James?
Well, Brennan, it's starting to look like our streak of summer weather might be coming to an end this weekend. Come over here, I'll show you the weather. And as I take you to the Daily Almanac, you can see a live shot of Route 11 right in front of the Drive-By Theater. And as you can see, today is the final day of summer weather as we have a high of 83 and a low of 54 with a barometric pressure of 29.93 inches. Wind speeds are kind of casual at 12 miles an hour with mild humidity of 32%. And as I take you to the current conditions, it is hot and sunny all around Lexington. Roanoke, it's 86 degrees and sunny, 73 and sunny in Covington. Buena Vista is 83 degrees, as it is in Stanton. Lexington, 87 degrees and sunny, the same in Lynchburg, and Charlottesville the same. And as we take you to the radar, you can see not a cloud in the sky in Lexington. It is a beautiful day. And for our 5-day forecast, it's starting to look like fall weather is finally in the picture. Friday is 75 and high with a low of 49. Saturday gets down even cooler, 71 high, and we even get down to 44 degrees there. Sunday it'll go down to 69 degrees and a low of 47. Monday will be 72 degrees, and again it will be 72 on Tuesday with a low of 54. Brennan, back to you.
Well, that looks promising. Thanks, James. Coming up next on the Rockbridge Report, glass recycling is back in Lexington, so you don't have to pack your car and travel miles to be green.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Soon, Rockbridge County residents will have access to an 11-mile-long Chessie Nature Trail. In 2003, Hurricane Isabel divided Buena Vista and Lexington ends of the popular trail. As Caroline Leake reports, 2 new grants could bridge that divide.
Isabel made a mess of the Chessie Trail. For the past 14 years, runners and walkers have had to take a detour to complete the journey. The railroad bed follows the winding path of the Maury River. It used to connect Buena Vista and Lexington to Richmond in the 1800s. Officials saw the potential for a trail in the 1970s. The VMI Foundation received the deed in 1979 and passed it to VMI itself in 2013. Since 2013, the Chessie Trail Advisory Committee has worked to reconnect the old railroad bed. VMI is in the process of applying for a $250,000 grant. Colonel Jane Williams said the exact figure is still being negotiated. This money would go toward maintaining and connecting Lexington's side of the trail. Williams said they hope to start the project by 2019 at the latest. On the other end, Buena Vista has just received a $200,000 grant to put toward the trail. City Manager Jay Scudder said there are a few neglected spots that could use some attention. I'm here at the Stewartsburg access point to the Chessie Trail in Buena Vista. The trail runs under Route 60 overpass and continues on to the Riverwalk closer to downtown Buena Vista. As you can see behind me, the trail is pretty rocky and it's hard to walk on. Part of the grant that Buena Vista received will go towards improving this part of the trail and making it as accessible as the rest of the trail.
It's fairly flat. They maintain it very well, and it's one of those that it connects both of the communities, or will be connecting both of the communities very soon. And we're really one whole county, so it's nice to have a trail that we can all have access to.
Friends of the Chessie Trail has 2 races a year. Over 300 people came out to participate in its first race. In addition to connecting the community, Scudder hopes events like these will benefit Buena Vista economically.
Really overwhelmingly, people are excited about this connection and excited about the trail being more usable for people in the community and for tourists, and bringing those tourist dollars into Buena Vista.
Scudder predicts that the 7-mile-long trail will be 11 miles when all is said and done. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Caroline Leake.
When you go on your next run or walk, keep an eye out for the improvements. Plans are slated to start within the next year.
The City of Lexington restarted curbside glass recycling last month, 3 years after it had suspended the program. Now Lexington residents won't have to drive to Buena Vista just to recycle their glass bottles. Catherine Young has the story.
Glass can fill up a landfill, or it can be put to good use at the landfill. Mike Kennedy, Lexington's Director of Public Works, said the city restarted its recycling program due to demand by residents.
They're very passionate about it. They very much want to do what they feel is, right for the environment, good for the environment, and maybe see it as a civic duty.
For glass to be recycled, it must be separated from other recyclables. Glass is picked up separately. This recycled glass never leaves Rockbridge County. Instead, it is reused in the Rockbridge County landfill.
The glass is stockpiled by the county who operates the landfill. And then they reuse the glass for a couple of different purposes. One, for daily cover on the landfill. Alternatively, they can use it as bedding in various drainage ditches and such around the landfill site.
The program benefits the city and the environment. When there were no glass recycling options in Lexington, some residents took their glass to auto recyclers in Buena Vista. There, glass was turned into sand or into landscaping materials.
We had to separate first, put in the container, bring it back in here and dump it to the big pile. And then we run into the machine, to the trommel. And then we make sand and some kind of gravel for the mulch.
But the lack of help kept the glass crushing machine still for months. Mike Kennedy says that only about 20% of Lexington households currently recycle, but he is working to improve those numbers. Glass pickup occurs 5 days per week. The collection day depends on one's street of residence. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Katherine Young.
So far, about 250 Lexington residents have requested recycling totes or carts. If you are interested in a recycling cart for mixed recycling or tote for glass recycling, contact the City of Lexington Public Works Department.
Virginia hunters prove every year that they hunt for more than just sport. Many donate their killings to the Hunters for the Hungry. The organization donates venison to the local food pantries that then distribute the meat to people in need. However, the owner of the processing plant in Amherst County that supplies the Rockbridge area said he has seen a decrease in donations. Owner Joe Albert gets only half of what he used to get 10 years ago. He says the decrease may be due to the economy or the flagging enthusiasm for hunting. Check out rockbridgereport.wlu.edu for the story.
Coming up next on the Rockbridge Report, you'll get caught up with local and college sports, and a group of parents wants more educational activities for children. They say a children's museum downtown may be the answer.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hugh Hefner, the man who turned silk pajamas into a work uniform and women into centerfolds, died of natural causes Wednesday night. He was 91. Both Hefner and Playboy were brand names worldwide, and he will always be remembered for turning sexual desire into a worldwide media empire that spanned several generations of American life.
It's an exciting time for women's sports at WNL. Tell us about it, Paige.
That's right, Aspen.
The W&L women's soccer team cruised to a 10-0 victory over Hollins Wednesday afternoon. Senior midfielder Becca Morris kicked out a career high with 3 assists, while first-year middle fielder Allie Miller ran up the scoreboard with 2 goals. Over on the field hockey field, the Generals clinched another victory against Lynchburg. Senior midfielder Maggie Sands led the team to victory with a game-winning shot in overtime. The final score was 4-3. And the women's volleyball team brought home a victory over Bridgewater Wednesday. The Generals took the first set, lost the second, but came back to pull it out in the third. The women's tennis team finished out its fall season at the ITA Southeast Regional Championships on Sunday at Mary Washington. Senior Emily Cochard and sophomore Anna Cranen took home a doubles title, defeating Carnegie Mellon. In men's sports, the Generals fell to Lynchburg on the soccer field Wednesday, but the Generals will jump back into action on Saturday to host Bridgewater at 1 o'clock. The men's golf team finished in 8th place at the Tournament Town Preview on Sunday and Monday. In football, Southern Virginia University fell to Keene, 28-14, making it their 4th loss of the season. The VMI Keydets also took a loss on the field against Chattanooga, falling to the Mocs 63-7. The Washington and Lee Generals will head back to the field this weekend after a bye week. The team squares off against Emory and Henry this Saturday. And in high school football, Rockbridge County High School varsity football beat Fort Defiance with a score of 49-14. Over in Buena Vista, Perry McClure varsity football beat Nelson County High School in their touchdown against cancer game. The final score was 43-20. Back to you.
Thank you. The Lexington area does not offer many educational activities for children, but a group of parents wants to change that by starting a children's museum downtown. The group is raising money now, but in the meantime, a mini golf course is open at the site for kids and adults to enjoy.
Entrepreneur Gavin Fox originally bought the building at 312 South Main Street with the expectation of turning it into a children's museum. Fox's wife, Molly, was the one who initially came up with the concept for the museum, which will be called Discovery Heights.
The idea developed fairly organically. A group of friends and I were talking about it, and it started off as a hypothetical, wouldn't it be cool if, and from there has generated some steam.
Molly Fox saw the idea as an opportunity to create an educational space for children and parents. As a mom, she also knows just how difficult it is to occupy her children on the weekends.
There isn't anything within an hour's drive. An hour's drive, you factor there and back, that's 2 hours, and the time spent, it becomes a whole day event.
However, fundraising for the project seems to be taking longer than originally expected. That's why Gavin Fox decided to open a mini golf course on site for the time being.
Our primary goal is to rehab the building, and then of course the mini golf thing came about as a stopgap in terms of not losing money rather than making money.
Currently, Molly Fox and her team are working on raising $150,000. One of their first major fundraising events was a paint party on September 21st. They brought in a local artist to teach adult participants how to paint House Mountain. So far, the Discovery Heights Museum team has a mock-up of the future floor plan for the site and ideas for exhibits. The space will include a music room, a theater area, and replicas of shops on Main Street. Discovery Heights board member and Woods Creek Montessori teacher Farishta Irani believes her experience as an educator will help her create interactive, hands-on exhibits for children.
I think that's really what a children's museum is all about. It's okay for children to come in and touch things and to feel things, and it's not a hands-off experience.
The Discovery Heights Museum team hopes to have the building converted in the next year or two. In the meantime, Lexington residents will have to settle for a hole-in-one on the golf course. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Alexandra Klein.
LexLink's mini golf is currently open on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. The space can also be rented out on other days for private bookings.
That's all for the Rockbridge Report. Thanks for watching.
You can stay current with Rockbridge area news on our website, rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. See you next Tuesday at 3 on Channel 18.